seguimos en Panorama, hoy honrados de estar en el Departamento de Policías de Boston con el comisionado Williams Evans. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much, Commissioner, for being with us in Panorama.
Thank you.
La historia del comisionado Evans es una historia de persistencia, de supervivencia y de una tradición familiar. Voy a narrar un poco. I'm going to give a brief story of your background and your life background, which is in the general media. El comisionado Evans, cuando tenía 3 años, falleció su madre de cáncer. Su padre falleció cuando él tenía 13 años. Su carrera policíaca ha sido intachable por muchísimos años en la ciudad de Boston, desde los barrios más recónditos hasta ahora que es comisionado. Fue criado básicamente por sus hermanos. Uno de sus hermanos falleció fue atropellado por un carro. Entonces, there is a connection between a lot of dramatics happenings during your life and your success being now the commissioner. I was just saying that your entire career has been amazingly received by the city and the leaders of the city, and I think that's why you have the position that you hold right now. I also mentioned the story of your family, your older brother, Paul Evans, who used to be a commissioner as well. But there is a big connection of all these dramatic happenings during your childhood with a lot of immigrants that come to this country. A lot of families separated, a lot of kids without mothers and fathers for years. So what would be your first message before we go into the police and your responsibility, knowing your life, to this audience that should be connected with you individually?
Yeah, well, I think I come from a family of Irish immigrants who came over here, so who didn't have a whole lot, and they worked hard over here, and my father, raised 6 boys after I lost my mom at a very early age, and we didn't have a whole lot, but we worked hard and we studied hard and we stuck together as a family, and I think that's what's real important about me. I think, my brothers brought me up, and so in a way we're a close-knit family, like a lot of the immigrant population, where we rely on each other. We don't have a whole lot, but we rely on each other, and as I look back, I wouldn't want it any other way. So it's all about family and how important it is, and I think that's important in the immigrant population.
Voy a comenzar con las últimas palabras de que lo más importante es la familia y estar unido como la familia. Su familia es inmigrante de Irlanda. Fue el haber fallecido su madre cuando él estaba tan pequeño hizo que la familia fuera más unida. Y lo más importante para él en esta conexión con la comunidad inmigrante es sus principios, sus valores familiares. The Catholic Church means a lot in the community, and religious means a lot in the community. And there was a person through Facebook who I guess he knows your religions, your values. And so he or she said the story of Mary and Joseph through all the whole situation of bringing Mary to give birth in a different country or a different town, and getting out through the border where they were rejected, and getting into a town where they were also were rejected. Right. So what would you say to families that arrive in this city after all that, let's say, all that dramatic way of crossing the borders? I'm not referring to the legalities of how do they do it. They are already here.
Well, I like them to know that the police are their friends. We're here to make sure if they're going to live in this city or walk in this city, should they need our services, don't be afraid of us. We're all good family people. We all have children. A lot of us understand what a lot of families and newcomers to the city are experiencing. So whether they're from a country that the police don't treat people well, here in America, especially here in the city, we welcome everybody, and I want them, you know, the immigrant population to know that we're their friends, we're not their enemy.
Estamos conversando con el comisionado William Evans, comisionado de la policía de Boston. Le pregunté sobre cómo se sentía él con los inmigrantes que llegan a la ciudad de Boston, muchas veces a través de una travesía trágica o dramática, porque atravesamos desiertos, salimos de un país que quizás no nos sentimos queridos o seguros, llegamos a otro país donde en la frontera tampoco nos sentimos seguros, pero al llegar a esta ciudad le pregunté cuál es su mensaje a nosotros los inmigrantes que llegamos de esa manera. La respuesta del comisionado Evans ha sido que tenemos que sentirnos seguros, no tenerles miedo, don't be afraid of la policía. You have mentioned that sentence several times in the video, don't be afraid of the police, and you have been all your life in the police.
Right.
Why do you mention that so many times?
Because, you know, we have a great group of officers here, and, you know, we're all about helping people. And I think, you know, sometimes people read in the papers and in the TV that, you know, the police do bad things. And it's like, I always am trying to break the image that, you know, we're like a social service agency. We're not like a military force. We're here to make sure everybody gets opportunities in our city, whether it's, you know, health care, whether it's jobs. You know, we work very closely with Mayor Walsh to make sure anyone coming into our city is welcoming and they get the services they need.
Le pregunté al comisionado por qué menciona tanto el no tenerle miedo a la policía. El comisionado Evans ha trabajado toda su vida, all your life, all your career have been in the police,
Yeah.
right? In Boston.
Yeah.
Y su respuesta ha sido que él insiste en que no le tengamos miedo a la policía porque ellos no son una fuerza militar. Ellos lo que son es trabajadores sociales, social workers, y, como un social worker. Y que todo lo que se ve en la televisión y los videos, recientes videos donde hay mucha fuerza brutal sobre policías, sobre personas quizás inocentes, no debería ser reflejo de la mayoría de los policías en Boston.